Hello, everybody. I'm Frudrag, and this is Stationeers. I fell in love with this game a little while ago. It is challenging, but it is fun. Going through the Steam achievements, I realized that there's quite a few people that just seem to install the game and not play it because there's very, very few achievements. So my aim is to maybe introduce the game, reintroduce it, maybe explain a few things, and maybe simplify a few things. Disclaimer, I'm not affiliated with anybody, and yes, I have a list of mods I use. Mostly it's quality of life and helping improve the gameplay experience. If anybody wants me to explain which mods I use and why I use them, feel free to let me know in the comments. And yeah, so this game is fun because it's difficult. And it's difficult because it's a more of a simulation than one of these survival shooter games. So let's jump right in. You go to a new world, you have Mars, Moon, Mimas, different planets that you can go to. It seems that it's from easiest to most difficult, where these two are really hot worlds. Each world challenges you in a different way. Um, for instance, Mars has atmosphere, not breathable, but you can use the gases for various things. You don't have to always go and get ices. More on that a bit later. But it's easier in the respect that you have atmosphere, but there's horrible storms that can do damage to structures and things like that. Moon has no atmosphere, very little um, gravity, but it has solar flares, which don't really damage anything, but you can utilize that to optimize solar production. The lack of atmosphere has its challenges, the same with Mimas. Europa is really, really cold, and that creates a whole lot of challenges. It has a atmosphere of oxygen, um, but the cold is really, really bad. Venus and Vulcan are really, really horrible because they have very high temperatures, and yeah, it's bad. Right, for the sake of this video, I'm going to start with the moon because I think it's easier, in my opinion, than Mars because the storms in Mars creates unique challenges. Right. So when you start a new game, you get to choose where on the moon you start. Um, each of these has its description. Um, a nice one, in my opinion, is uh, the Highlands, which makes it easier to do solar and get maximal solar radiation to your solar panels. All right. Clicking next, then you get into creative. Creative on the right hand side, it shows you the conditions. You can't get achievements, but you get a whole lot of things that are disabled, which makes it, in a sense, easier. Um, and it's a good place to test things and go and run around and see how things work. Um, easy, the conditions are a bit easier to work with. For instance, you can eat and drink while your helmet is closed, which is a huge thing. You don't need to have atmosphere, and your lung damage and all that is much easier. Normal, now a lot of things are disabled and enabled. That makes it a bit more challenging. And then Stationeer is the most difficult setting. So for this, to explain things, I'll use easy. There we go. Next. Now we have different starting conditions. What you are presented with to help you. If you go over each of these containers, it tells you what are inside them, and these things are all there to help you. If you go to brutal, you'll see that you only get one container with very few things, and your life will be much more difficult in the start. These two community tabs are for multiplayer things, I think, and yeah, we're not going to touch on that now. So normal player would start with standard, give it a name. Let's go with Luna Testbed. And then you can say start your game, and you are teleported to where your starting location is. Just wait for the noise to stop. And we have touchdown. Right. Important. This is your lander capsule. This is the lander. In here, right, just for the start, one of the mods I have is your headlamp. If you click control and scroll, you can change how wide or how far your headlamp shows you. Alright, so here are containers with supplies in them. And there are names so that you know what each one of them is. On Mars, if you have a storm, the storm will take this one away, but this one will remain for a while. Alright. If you hold Alt, you can move your mouse around and click on things. Clicking on each of these opens the inventories. Now, inventory space is a bit of a challenge in the beginning. You don't have infinite space, so let's put a few things in here that we're not going to use immediately. Right, to throw something, you have the hand selected with the thing in your hand. You press and hold Q until you are satisfied with how far you want to throw it, and you release, and that throws it. Alright, so this one is the first one you start with. This is just hints. They are very helpful. I'm going to switch them off for now because we're not going to use them for now. Right, your tool belt is here. I swapped them around. I'll show you just now why. You open your tool belt, take out your wrench, and now the outline of that changes. If you want to know what to do, the help menus on your mouse pointer is very, very good. It tells you what you're looking at, and if you move it right, it tells you what tool you need to do a certain thing with it. To swap your hands, you press E, click on it, it unlocks it. Swap hands and grab the handle. Now you can move it around. A nice place to start is on the rim of this crater. You have resources available, and if you're a bit higher, your sun duration would be a bit longer than when you are down in a valley. Alright, you're tasked to build a structure, so grabbing a couple of iron frames allows you to build. So right click and it gives you a ghost image of what you are going to build and where it's going to be. It snaps to the world grid, which makes it a whole lot easier to align things and to build things more easily. I'm going to purposefully build under the rim of the crater just to showcase something else. Alright, the size of your starting base is relevant because you are going to need to fill that with an atmosphere. But if you have ground overlapping your structure like that, to get rid of that, you open your mining belt, take your mining tool, mining drill. When you click on a tool, a little window opens up, tells you the fuel source and some settings on some of them. This one has set flatten. So now when I switch it on by right clicking, I can flatten this surface. And now it's no longer in my way, which makes it easier. Alright, you can just go to default and mine it out normally. But yeah, that's just a little tip. Alright, let's put it away. Close our mining belt. We have a metal structure that we can build on. But as you can see, it's open grids. To close it, you need to do something with it. Again, you need a tool. Take a screwdriver. It tells you you need a welding torch and iron sheets to continue construction. So in your crate here, you have iron sheets, you have a welder, and it's red. To switch it on, right click, and now you can stand on this block without falling through. But this one, you will fall through. Right, so that continues the construction. These blocks have two build states. The first one, like this, is a structure that you can build on, walk on, but it is open in the sense that atmosphere will pass through. If you weld it a second time, it becomes a solid block that atmosphere will not pass through. So, because this is our living space, let's close all of them up. This will allow us to put walls on that will enclose your breathable atmosphere so that you can breathe inside this structure. Alright, now to get inside here we need to start planning ahead. We have to put an airlock on to go in and out. Alright, a lot of people use 4 blocks like that to create an airlock to pass in and out with. I've been working on a new idea where I use walls to create the airlock, and I'll be showcasing that today. So we have one there. Let's weld it up. also going to put a few extra blocks here for things that I need outside my base, specifically power and things like that. Alright, let's weld them up. I don't need to weld them shut or completely, because they are going to be just outside structures to build. But this one I'm welding completely because it's going to be part of my airlock. Alright, let me show you what I do when I build an airlock. Right, in this hand we now have iron walls, and this is another mod that I use. It shows you your ghost image and then which way is upright. It helps you align your structures so that you don't get all random facing structures. Makes it a bit easier. You can use the C key to go through the different orientations, or you can use the up down, a page up, page down, home, end, and delete and insert. Page down and delete works together, page up and insert works together, and end and home work together. Alright, so you can orientate it. Now, when you're building walls, let me build one and I'll show you what I mean. The way it was, you have a green side that fills the block, and you have a side that's not filled. You can look carefully and see which side the sheet's going to fit to. When you build it, this sheet is on the outside, so this is the side that when you place a wire on it, for instance, now you can't see where the wire is because the sheet hides it, but it's on the inside. So when I build my walls, I like to orientate this face to the inside of my structure, which makes it easier to place things on them. And if I show you this, so if I build it like that, the black side, not the gray side, the black side's going to be on the inside. So I build one that side, one on that side, and then one on top. And now I've got a space where I can put my two doors in, and I've got spaces where I can put all the airlock, let's say, gadgets that facilitate the airlock. Now, if you finish the walling, so you can enclose your whole base and start maybe getting an idea of a breathable atmosphere. Let's quickly close this up. There, we have an enclosed space that we can now fully enclose using plates. No tool is required for this. You just insert the steel iron plates into the spaces to finish the frames. We have some more there. Now we have our basic frame where we can start creating a living space that where we can breathe in. Let's try and get all our boxes in, all the containers from the and each of these has a specific content and it helps you in specific ways, like this electrical supplies. If I just put it down here quickly, open it up, a whole lot of things that you can use for electrical generation and electrical distribution is in here. Close it. Now you'll notice that I line myself up and then go in backwards. Be careful, it can happen that if you get these too close to walls and you kind of force them, they can pop to the outside and even cause some issues where you can lose an arm or something, or your suit can get damaged. Alright, it's kind of funny when it happens. Alright, last box. And ain't our blue planet pretty? Alright, all the boxes are inside. Now let's look for airlock supplies, and here we have some things that we can use to create our airlock. Alright, vents. You have two varieties. You have a active vent, which goes on the inside of the airlock, and you have a passive vent, which goes on the outside. Nicely aligned. You have pipes. You can connect the two. You have a console. I like putting it between the vents over there. This data disk used to be used to program your airlock. It's no longer used. You have that set to configure with a screwdriver to configure your airlock. And there we have the sensor. Now, some kits have different things that you can create with the kit by right clicking and then scrolling the mouse wheel. You can go through the different things that you can create with that one kit. For this one we need a gas sensor to sense which gases are in, or the pressure of the gases in your airlock. Alright, Same with the doors. You have glass door, you have a composite door, you have a composite roller cover, and then a manual hatch. These two are not controlled by the airlock. You have to manually control them. And then you have a manual floor hatch, which is similar to this one, but it's just to get to lower levels. These two, the composite door and the glass door, are controlled by electronics. If you look at the bottom, you see there's a power and a network point. We'll get to that just now. And where you put wires and pipes differ from these two. I like using the glass doors. Some people like using composite doors. Let's go with composite doors for this. Pressing C to change it around. Now, how do I build them? Finish the structures. Put a tool in your hand and look what your little menu tells you. There it says welding torch and one plastic sheet. Welding torch and one plastic sheet. There's our plastic sheets. Welding torch. And now to finish it, we need crowbar and glass sheets. Alright, we equip them. Now the door is there and it's closed. To open the door so that you can go in and finish your airlock, just keep clicking it so you can open it so you can pass through. Alright. We are going to need that to name it. But now we can close the doors, create an atmosphere in here, and we'll have a space that we can live and breathe in. Just now we had the notification that our power is low in the electrical supplies. We have extra batteries and we have area power controllers. These allow power to come in from outside the base or outside an area into a controlled area where you can then distribute the power. Let's place this one here, and then you're going to need a crowbar to open it. And you'll see that there is a space for a battery. We can go and get a battery. And put it in there. There's a switch that's in the off position. Now it's in the on position. All right. This will allow you to control or distribute power to the devices in the airlock. You have another one, which I think we can use for distributing power inside our living space. Let's open it and put a battery in there. All right. Now, in our electrical supplies, there's two generators. We have a solid generator and a portable generator, and then there's a solar panel. The solar panel and one sheet of glass is needed for solar energy in the beginning. All right. The sun comes up there, that side, between the horizon and the sun, and the earth. It goes behind the earth and it comes up this side. So I'm going to put my generation this side. Eventually there's going to be a battery here, so I want my solar panel more or less here. Alright, if you scroll, you can get an orientation like this or a flat panel. Let's put a flat panel here, put a glass sheet on it, and now if we hover our mouse on it, we can see that it generates electricity. Sorry about that. For us, and it is 76% efficient. As the sun gets more towards a vertical position and the rays of the sun directly hit it, it'll get to approximately 99% efficiency. But this creates electricity that we can tap into. Let's feed our wires to our area power controller inside. And to the airlock area power controller. I did a little mistake there. There we go. That's what I want. Let's connect these two together. The reason why I have my orientation like this, I'm planning to have a battery here and the temporary generators here. So that's why I've got this orientation like this. Let's just do that one there. Now if we go inside, we should see that the solar panel is charging this battery. And there we go. Solar panel is charging it. Now, the two generators that you get in the box, solid generator and the portable generator. The solid generator's power output is a whole lot more and it will burn your wires. These normal thinner wires. The portable generator is meant specifically for when you start. Alright, so you've got the box in your hand, you right click and the contents of the box will spill out. You need the base. So let's place the base so that the electrical out part, that little arrow with the green, is in the middle of this block, more or less there. And then we equip the generator itself and drop it on there. Now to attach it to that platform, you need the wrench and you click on it and there it is, it's attached and you can now use it to generate electricity. But you need a gas to burn to generate the electricity. So you can either put a battery in there, switch it on and it will charge the battery, or you can connect it to your power units, area power controllers, and provide power to your station. The sun is low. Our solar panel is not receiving much energy from the sun. Let's wait until it's 0. There we go. Now we switch this on. And if all goes well, we'll see that this battery is being charged by that portable generator. And we've got power. And I think this is where I'm going to stop for today, for this video. I hope this helps some people to maybe have a better idea or another idea on how to just set up a starting area that's a bit easier to set up. The next video I'm going to do, we're going to complete the inside. We're going to start creating the printer and printing things so we can expand our base and make our lives a little bit more easier. Until then, if this has helped anybody, if you like this content, please subscribe or at least hit a like. It'll help me a lot. And thank you for your time. I really, really, really appreciate it. And that's me saying goodbye.